Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Today, we're dedicating the entire hour to amazing moms with heartfelt stories that will leave you feeling inspired. Debbie Reynolds' son, Todd Fisher, will be here live, sharing memories of his legendary mother. Then, the story of a teen mom with triplets who ends up getting adopted by her baby's NICU nurse. And a mother and son duo share their remarkable journey traveling the world together. You don't want to miss this special tribute to the incredible women in all of our lives.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Y'all, just stop. This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to a very special edition of DBL. That's right, today we're celebrating moms because they deserve more than just one day a year, am I right? So we're gonna spend the next hour hearing from people whose lives were forever changed by their remarkable moms. I can't wait.
Like you, Sam.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, it's important to acknowledge that you're juggling all of these balls and you're doing it so well. I just love the diversity.
That's Father's Day.
I love the diversity of the way people mother, you know, whether it's biological, whether it's proximity. And of course, I'm so grateful for my amazing mom. And I know y'all are grateful for yours too. So,
Dr. Cobb. Thank you, Erica.
Yes.
Love ya. All right, so this is exciting. Our first guest is someone who was raised by Hollywood royalty and grew up in the spotlight of a single working mom who survived one of the biggest scandals of the 50s. So before we chat with Todd Fisher, let's remember or remind you of his remarkable family.
That's the time I'll be thinking of you.
Eddie Fisher was one of the most recognized voices of the 1950s. Debbie Reynolds was America's sweetheart.
Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
The two married in 1955, becoming a Hollywood powerhouse. In 1956, they welcomed their first child, Carrie. 2 years later, they welcomed their son, Todd. But in 1959, Hollywood was set ablaze when Eddie left his young family to marry Debbie's friend, the iconic Elizabeth Taylor.
How I love my pretty baby. Honest to goodness I do.
Debbie, who is now a single mom with 2 young kids, filled her schedule balancing home life with work. Carrie and Todd went to the studio with their mom, with Carrie eventually sharing the stage.
Let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again.
On December 27th, 2016, the world lost Princess Leia, and Debbie lost her best friend.
She then said that she really wanted to be with Carrie. In those precise words. And within 15 minutes from that conversation, she faded out. And within 30 minutes, she technically was gone.
I'm emotional. Todd has written a book about his mom and sister, calling it My Girls, A Lifetime with Carrie and Debbie. And to share just some of those stories, please welcome to DBL, Todd Fisher.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Todd, thank you so much for being here. We're all a little emotional from that package. What do you believe was your mom's greatest strength as a mom? And it may be different because you had a much closer relationship than the rest of us did.
Well, you know, in many ways, we didn't have the Leave It to Beaver father, the family setup that television portrayed. But in other ways, we did. My mom was very much a normal, doting mother who loved Carrie and I. And the only difference is we were being schlepped to the studio or to Las Vegas, you know. So that was different. But she was a very loving mother that really just poured her love and her time into us. And if she couldn't do it at that moment, she would just would throw us under her arm and roll out.
Wow.
I love it.
Boss energy.
Yes.
So your mom was a busy Hollywood icon, but also a single mom. So how did she balance those two worlds, especially at that time?
Well, I had a lot of friends that were in similar situations, and they didn't have much contact with their parent, whether it be a male or a female. And so I always was very happy that I was able to spend so much time with my mother. She really she prioritized her time that way. I mean, in fact, a lot of her studio contracts were written that she would have a certain amount of time, or the nanny could be on the set. I can remember sitting with a nanny while she was doing a scene, then she'd come off and play with Carrie and I, and then run back out, do a scene, then come back and play with us. I mean, like any mother, if you ask my mother at any given time of her life, including the very end, what was the thing she was most proud of, she would say her children. I mean, that's what a lot of mothers would say.
Wow, Todd, I find old Hollywood fascinating. You lived it. Your second home was MGM Studios. Do you have a favorite story? I'm sure you have 1,000, but growing up there?
Well, I mean, I got to have my birthday parties, Carrie and I both, if we wanted to, on the back lots. And the MGM Studios were a fantasy land that doesn't really exist today. I mean, Warner still has a pretty elaborate back lot, but MGM had the quintessential back lot. It was 200 acres of various types of backgrounds, from New York to Western towns to the Tortuga Bay with a pirate ship. So, you know, we would all go there and have these fantasy parties and swing from the yardarms, and, you know, we'd get hurt and, you know, pick ourselves back up. And it was a blast. I mean, there will be nothing like that ever again. I mean, it was a fantasy land that was built to make these fantasy movies, and we got to play there and play out our fantasies.
Unbelievable. Wow. Historical. Absolutely historical. So at times, your mom and Carrie did have a very rocky relationship. How did their relationship affect yours with each of them?
Well, I became a little bit of a middleman or a liaison at different times. When Carrie first, right at the movie Postcards from the Edge, when Carrie had her first drug incident, she didn't really want to talk to my mother. She was mad at her, and there wasn't exactly a logical reason to this, but one couldn't really question it. It was Princess Leia, after all, at that point. and if she's telling Darth Vader what to do, you can imagine where you fit in. But you know, Carrie was only my mother could tell Carrie what to do. I had some influence, but really my mother was the most influential and was able to keep Carrie on the rails in many ways. So when there was this hiatus where they didn't see each other much and they were separated by this fabricated problem, it was hard on Carrie and her personal life. It certainly didn't help. You know, having spent the first 20-something years of our life inseparable of our mother, and then she chose to take a big block of time off. So I spent a lot of time, you know, running in between them and trying to get us together for events and make things happen. But it was really a little bit on Carrie, and my mother was so gracious, she wasn't going to force her hand.
You know, we have about 30 seconds left, but I want to talk about this gift of your mom's final words, because they were to you. Did that give you any peace?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, the beautiful thing about my mother and my relationship, and also Carrie's and hers, is in the end, there was no unsaid words. We'd spoken everything. We knew we had great, deep love for each other. We'd spent our lives together. So there was nothing really unfinished. And that's an important way, if you're going to leave the planet and you're going to leave your children or whatever, that is a good way to do it. The Carrie exit was disturbing, as you outlined in your role in there, But my mom, it was pretty peaceful and pretty righteous, and it was magical, is what I said on that interview.
Wow. I have chills. DBL Nation, My Girls, A Lifetime with Carrie and Debbie is available now. Also, watch Bright Lights on HBO. It's Debbie and Carrie's final documentary. Todd, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. We appreciate you.
By the way, we're in my mom's room, just for those of you wondering.
I figured. I'm glad you said that.
Her living room.
Unbelievable.
Good
Beautiful. Coming up on this special A Mother's Love edition of DBL, a mother and her 10-year-old son are sharing their remarkable journey around the world together. Three words that best describe my mom are selfless, compassionate, smart. My mom's my biggest cheerleader, and when I used to swim, we traveled a lot. And I just remember that one-on-one time with her. I remember listening to Tom Petty's Won't Back Down with her. If I could tell my mom one thing, thank you for always believing in me. You've given me wings. I love my mom. I mean, I go in your house and you have a lot of hip-hop memorabilia.
Yes.
It's not original, but if you were...
Wow.
Do you want to move on?
the chicken has come to bite the pig in the butt.
I need a bumper sticker made out of that.
We need to see our Jeff doing some exercises.
Real fast, watch this.
Can you do this?
Oh my God.
Summer is here, and that means your family might go swimming in lakes or rivers to beat the heat. And yes, your pets too. But before you or your pet jump in, listen up. State officials and pet owners have issued warnings over the years about blue-green algae blooms after dogs died from suspected poisoning. So let's verify. Is some blue-green algae toxic to pets? Our sources are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Washington State Department of Health, the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, and VCA Animal Hospitals. If you see a body of water that appears to have green paint or pea soup floating on top, that is likely cyanobacteria, also known as blue-green algae. It usually blooms in the summer and early fall. Most blue-green algae blooms are not harmful, but some can produce toxins that can be deadly to pets. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency says blue-green algae blooms can lead to poisoning in pets if they drink from or swim in contaminated water sources. Dogs can also ingest the algae by licking it off of their fur after a swim. The CDC says animals can die within hours to days of swallowing those toxins. So we can verify, yes, some blue-green algae is toxic to pets. So how can you tell if a blue-green algae bloom is toxic? You can't. VCA Animal Hospitals say it's impossible to tell whether a bloom contains toxins just by looking at it, and that all blue-green algae blooms should be considered toxic until proven otherwise. So be vigilant. Don't allow pets to drink from water that has bluish-green scum on the surface or around the edges. And if you think your pet swam in water with blue-green algae, make sure to rinse them thoroughly with clean water afterward and contact a vet immediately. Those blooms can also affect you. Our sources say exposure to high levels of blue-green algae and their toxins can cause diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, skin irritation, and difficulty breathing in humans. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Welcome back to DBL. We just want to spend a little bit of time talking about our own moms and all that they have done for us. So Tori, what are 3 words that describe your mother?
Oh my God. Okay. Well, one would be chutzpah. If you don't know, that's Yiddish for like gall, because she faced all the elements and that she's still doing. That's a good word, chutzpah.
So gall.
Gall. Curious as an artist and an art teacher. She's fascinating about colors. And then finally, I would simply say fair. She likes to, no cheating. She likes justice and to stand up for what you believe in.
Oh,
that's my mom.
I love it.
Judy.
I love it.
Very outgoing. I'm going to see her later today. Can't wait to see her.
You look just like her.
Yeah, we're little twinsies.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so Erica, what is, if you can remember, the single best piece of advice that your mother's given you?
Pay attention to the way that a man treats his mother, because that's the way he'll treat you.
Wow. And have you found that that's accurate?
Yes, very accurate. And when I say mother, it's the mother figure in your life, because my parents have a diversity of mother figures in their life. And I think that's very important.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Jeff, if you could tell your mom one thing, what would it be?
It's got to be I love you, right? How many times am I going to cry today? I don't know why I'm so emotional.
They go, Jeff's softer side is coming out.
I'm like, listen, I love you, Mom, so much. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I don't know. No, I really love my mom. And every chance you get, every time my phone rings, you see, we're very lucky up here to still have our moms.
I know.
Again, I'm not going to get too emotional, but what was I going to say? Jordan, after having kids, I cry about everything, and Jordan has become Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's like she doesn't care about anything. Yeah. Whatever. What about you, Sam?
Let's see. Advice that my mom's given me?
Was that my question?
Yeah. That was in the prompter.
Thanks for filling in those holes.
My mom's always told me not to give up. If you start something, you finish it. And if you fall, you get back up. You dust your shoulders off. And, I've taken that to heart. She drilled that into my mind at a very young age, and I will always finish what I start. I'll always be a woman of my word, and I'll always give it all that I got.
You do.
Because of you, Mama. I love you.
Oh, man.
You love all our moms. Okay. Let's go to y'all.
One of those
Yeah.
days.
I know.
We will be right back with more of this special A Mother's Love edition of DBL.
To pick a favorite memory of my mom, oh man, I'm gonna get emotional. When I first went away to college to play football, it was something that I wasn't expecting. There was 3 practices a day. I couldn't even touch my knees at one point. I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. And I called my mom thinking, hey, she would tell me, why don't you come home? And instead she said, you gotta stick it out. And I ended up being the MVP of the team that year. Mom, I don't know if I tell you enough, but I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Most of us have probably heard 8 glasses a day is the optimal amount of water to drink to stay hydrated, which is important for all sorts of bodily functions. That equals 64 ounces, or a half a gallon. Is that too much? Not enough? Just right? We checked in with several sources here to verify. The CDC actually doesn't have a blanket recommendation for how much plain water people should drink every day because it could be different based on your diet, activity, body composition, and other things. Penn Medicine and other experts will often share a general goal. Take half your body weight and drink that many ounces of water per day. For example, if you're 120 pounds, drinking 60 ounces of water per day should keep you well hydrated in most conditions. But if it's humid and you're sweating, if your diet doesn't include a lot of water-dense foods, if you don't get enough sleep, if you have heart or kidney problems, if you're very active, that might not be enough. The best way to determine how much water you need is to pay attention to signs your body isn't hydrated enough. Kaiser Permanente says one of the easiest ways to gauge this is to check the color of your urine. Clear or light yellow is good. Darker could be a sign of dehydration. Other symptoms include not urinating often, bad breath, dry mouth, sluggishness or fatigue, and sugar cravings. You have to drink a lot of water for it to be too much water, and the CDC found most of us actually drink far too little. So while it's tricky to specify a specific exact amount of water any one person should drink, setting up some kind of goal, maybe with the help of a big water bottle like this one, could help with the overall goal of staying hydrated. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. Sometimes all a mother needs is to vent and someone to relate to. That need is what motivated Leslie Means to give any and all mothers a platform to do just that. After leaving her job as a broadcast journalist and becoming a mother herself, Leslie created the website Her View from Home, which was a perfect combination of her current role as a mom and her past role as a storyteller. And the results have been incredible. So here to talk all about it, please welcome to the show, Leslie Means. Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's get right to it. Your website is a place for all mothers to find community, share experiences, and air out grievances. Very important. But how has that helped you as a mother of 3 kids?
So I'm super stubborn. I'm a very stubborn woman. And I didn't think when my girls were little that I needed advice. I didn't want to read those advice books and all these things. But that's actually when I started Her View from Home. It was almost 12 years ago, and both my girls were under the age of 2. And somebody had said to me recently, they said, but Leslie, so you were super stubborn. You didn't want to read the books, but you were building at that time exactly what you needed. And I'm like, you're so right. How did I not notice that? I needed the community. I needed women around me. And now that I have 2 teen girls and a 6-year-old boy, I fully admit I don't have a clue what the heck I'm doing. So let's all try to just figure it out together.
I'm with you.
Yeah. What's happening?
So how did one reader's response to an article make you realize how important Her View from Home really was?
Yeah. So in 2016, we received an email from a woman who said, Leslie, I've been praying about it, and I really want to share my story on your website. And the story was about her friend who had died by suicide 4 months after her baby was born, and from postpartum depression. And after that article was published, everyone found us. I mean, the website was never the same, and we received an email from a woman who said, "Thank you for publishing that article. It saved my life." And I've told this story, I don't know, thousands of times. And every time I tell it, it makes me emotional, because it's just, we say all the time, the website's bigger than us. Our stories are bigger than we know. They're more powerful than we'll ever know. Just by sharing your story, you can be helping so many people. And it just completely changed from there. The website did. And it's just a testimony of how much we all need each other.
Wow. Amen to that. I'm so grateful for you and your website. I too went through postpartum depression. So thank you. What have you found to be the most common thing that mothers are opening up about on her View from Home website?
Yeah, so it has changed. It's 11 years old, so it's really changed in 11 years. But I would say in the past few years, since the pandemic, women are talking more about loneliness and mental health. But what they're doing is they're sharing their stories more than we ever had before. In fact, when my girls were little, I don't ever really remember talking about postpartum depression or the mental health issues. And now women, they're opening up, they're being brave, and they're saying, "Hey, I need help." And they're not afraid to admit that. I think that's so cool. Mothers are they're courageous. They're so brave in sharing their stories.
Honestly, I think it's the age of transparency right now, and it is a beautiful, wonderful thing. And to have that letter about the suicide so early, people weren't even talking about that. So bravo to you on that.
They weren't.
That's a big deal that you did that. Yeah. What has been? Is there a weird or unique story you've read on the website you can share with us? Like any juicy good ones?
There are so many good ones, and this is another really powerful one. It has a very unique title that I won't say on air, but the author actually wanted this title, and we published it. It had 9 million views in 1 month. It is such an important piece on don't let the little things get to you. Her husband died when they were young. She had 4 young boys. And in this article, she talked about how this was the last time she was ever going to do her husband's laundry. And it was such a perspective of let go of those little things, the little things that don't matter. She was like, how much I would love to pick up his shoes one more time. And, the internet, as the internet is, was like, well, I don't want to get walked all over. And that's not what it is. It's like, just let go of the little things that don't matter in life. And it's been that was published years ago, and it's stuck with me this whole time of look at the more important things, let go of those petty things.
Wow. Well said. And Leslie, I just read your foreword. Oh my gosh, it is so real and relatable. So real. Thank you so much for joining us today. DBL Nation, you can read the stories Leslie talked about with us and many more when you pick up a copy of her book, So God Made a Mother, anywhere books are sold. Thanks again, Leslie. We appreciate you. We'll be right back. Thank you.
If I was going to tell my mom one thing, it's to rest assured in the job that she did with all of us and the choices that she made in her life, because we have all benefited from her being such a stellar human being, and I am super proud of her. She's so stinking cute. Mom, they second-guessed you. They said you couldn't do it. Look at you, boo. You're thriving. You're glowing. You are a queen, and I love you.
There are few things I hate more than dodging mosquitoes when I'm trying to enjoy the summer sun. And there are a lot of them. More than 200 types of mosquitoes live in the U.S. and its territories, and 12 of them can carry diseases that make people sick, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Using these sources, we put together 3 facts about these buggers and tips on how to make yourself less of a target. Fact 1. Mosquitoes are the deadliest animals on Earth. While they don't maul, poison, or drown people like some other predators, mosquitoes do carry diseases like malaria, dengue fever, and Zika virus that kill an estimated 700,000 people per year worldwide, according to the CDC and the World Health Organization. While cases of those diseases are rare in the U.S., your best bet to protect yourself is to avoid getting bitten. Our tip? Use an EPA-registered insect repellent with active ingredients such as DEET, picaridin, or oil of lemon eucalyptus. When you're inside, let's keep those buggers out by using screens on windows and doors, or using air conditioning if available. Fact 2. Mosquitoes are attracted to certain colors. Black, orange, and red are their favorite. According to Jeff Riffle, a biology professor at the University of Washington, when mosquitoes see red and orange, they associate that with human skin color. He says no matter what your skin tone or how dark or light you are, we are dominantly reflecting orange and red. So, when you're wearing a red or orange shirt, you've made yourself a bigger target. When mosquitoes see black clothes, they think they found a shaded spot to rest. And then, our tip, avoid wearing black, red, and orange. Instead, opt for light-colored, loose-fitting clothing with long sleeves and pants. Fact 3. Mosquitoes are more attracted to a specific blood type. There are 4 major blood groups, A, B, AB, and O.
Folks with O-type blood tend to be preferred hosts for mosquitoes, and those who are type A are least preferred among the blood types.
In addition to having type O blood, there are other factors that can attract mosquitoes, including sweating, drinking alcohol, and higher body temperatures. Our tip? While you can't change your blood type, you can change what you do while you're outside. So, limit alcohol consumption and excessive sweating as much as possible. We have even more facts about mosquitoes and tips to keep them away on our website. Just scan this QR code to read the article. With your Verify and a renewed hope that I won't be covered in bug bites this summer, I'm Ariande Till. Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out. Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. Today has been a very special day for us. Lots of happy tears, because we are feeling the love from all the moms out there, and we love sharing your comments. Stephanie writes in, loved hearing about the DBL moms. It's great to see the bonds the hosts have with their families. We really do all have very strong bonds with our families.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I talk to my mom, she's like, be sure to tell everybody else. She'll name you Sam, Al, Jeff, Tori. Tell them all I said hi.
And we're so blessed. We're so blessed.
Amen to that. We'll see you same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.